Welcome back to the King's Corner, the place for all things Bethesda. I am the KingFanMan, and this is the KingCast, the podcast on all things Bethesda. That's redundant. I need to change that start for the KingCast, but you know what it is. And today I have a special guest with me. I have DeMarco Dude, and I'm so happy to have him. How are you doing, DeMarco Dude?
I didn't realize that I was, you caught my thumbs up little dance in the beginning. I didn't realize you went live, so. But no, it's going good. I didn't say this before, but like I'm excited that I'm going to be moving into a new place possibly very, very soon. So ideally can get a nicer setup back here, which is awesome. Excellent. Really looking forward to it. The channel's doing great. So and holiday right around the corner. Time
Awesome.
with family.
Well, your setup looks really, really cool, you know, with your, I don't want to say your curtain, but it is a curtain. But I love that setup. I've just got...
Actually, it's a blanket.
It's a... Wow. That's a cool idea.
Just hang it. It works.
By the way, there is DeMarco Dude's link. It is also down in the description below, but there it is in the chat. If for some reason y'all have not subscribed to DeMarco Dude yet, please go do that. He would appreciate it. I would appreciate it. And he has wonderful content on all kinds of gaming, not just Bethesda gaming. I know you've been doing some Starfield videos. You've been doing some the Harry Potter stuff. That's some... Man,
I did...
That looks really cool.
I did one video on Hogwarts Legacy, and
it went
just
crazy.
Harry Potter fans, let me just say, Harry Potter fans are insane, like actually insane, and in a good way.
Yeah.
And in some bad ways. A lot of people who are like, how dare you not know that in the 8th movie, at 42 minutes and 16 seconds in, that this character, like, I'm sorry.
Are they worse than Star Wars fans?
Oh my! Well, let's not crack this egg live.
Oh, well, let me say hi to some people and we'll jump right in. We got a lot to talk about today, a lot to talk about as always, and of course we will try to get to your questions and comments. Not quite as much as normal because when I have a guest, you know, we tend to get to talking to each other a little bit more. But hey, James, what's going on? Hey, Pam, there's that good-looking Pam. I don't know who that is, but she's good-looking. True Flat as well. Timmer, hey, Timmer and Ian. Who else was back up there? There was some more that was back up there before. Mayhem Cube Gaming. That's about it for now. But welcome, Jonas. Oh, Jonas, there's Jonas as well. So welcome to the KingCast. Okay, we're going to talk a lot of Starfield today, if that's all right. I think that's all right with you, DeMarco Dude. I hope that's all right with you guys. But as always, we're going to get to some news as well. Let me throw out some news first. Of course, Fallout 76 going on right now. Double Score Weekend is going on in Fallout 76. So remember to catch that, especially if you're not finished with the scoreboard. That will help you get through that scoreboard so much quicker. Well, twice as quick, right? There you go. Also, with Bethesda news, there are some...
Bethesda nudes?
Nudes, yeah, no. Yeah, we're going to get tagged by YouTube now. But hey, we'll go viral. No, there are some special deals on Bethesda games right now. Bethesda Switch games are on sale, and then you found some others. Tell me about the ones that you were just finding on sale.
So if you play on PC, then you can also find Bethesda's Easter sale on indiegala.com, which is just a credible... It's not like a G2A. It's like an actual credible Steam key website.
Gotcha. Because there's things up to 70% off. I thought it was through Steam, but it's not. Now, there is a rumor out there. There's some free Bethesda games through Steam, but we couldn't find them. But we looked really quick, so y'all can check into that as well. Also, we found out this week that the Bethesda launcher, we're going to start the migration process from the Bethesda launcher over to Steam on April the 27th. And it does not give us long either, because we have only until May the 11th to get all of those games transferred over. Not only the games, but the game wallets as well. But Bethesda promises you will not lose anything. You will not lose any progress, no characters, so that's really good. And if you jump on it early in Fallout 76, you will get some free scoreboard places. So jump on it early, starting April the 27th. So there's that information on the Bethesda launcher. You say, I don't know what to do. They're going to put out new information. I guess they're going to wait until the day of to give us information how to do it. I don't know why they're going to do that, but there you go. Also, Elder Scrolls Online. I don't know if y'all play that at all, but they put out some new trailers on the Bretons. High Owl. Have you played any Elder Scrolls Online?
So, I'm afraid to play Elder Scrolls Online. Well, I'm not afraid to play Elder Scrolls Online, but I don't play Elder Scrolls Online because every time I do it for a little bit, I have some fun with it, I uninstall it, and then I realize, oh crap, that install size, like the file size of ESO is just absolutely ludicrous.
It is.
and the amount of time it takes to download, by the time it's downloaded, I'm like, I don't really want to play it anymore.
Well,
Move on to something else.
If there is one that would make me jump back in, it's going to be this Breton one because it looks really cool. I mean, there is like festivals that you can go to. There is
they have card games, like they're doing Gwent stuff, kind of ESO versions of card games, I know, which is pretty neat.
Yeah, and I just went totally blank. What's it called when you have the horses that go at each other with the poles? What is that called?
Jousting?
Yeah, there you go, jousting. I couldn't remember that. But those kind of festivals where you can go and you can enter and you can do the sword fighting and the jousting and all that sounds so cool. You know, like a medieval fair. But anyway, that is coming in June.
What's your favorite Elder Scrolls race? Because mine's the Bretons, which is why it excites me. Like, I love the Bretons, and they do not get enough credit, I feel like, in Elder Scrolls.
Well, it's funny you said that. That is the very first character that I ever used in Skyrim, and we did that because that was the very first character I ever used in an Elder Scrolls game was Breton. I love the Bretons because they are, I believe, the best overall character. If you're wanting just kind of like a good overall character that kind of gets everything, you know, if you don't know what your build is going to be, then the Breton is the way to go. Yeah. And of course, you can make a lot of money with a Breton too. So there you go. But anyway, that is coming in June, I believe June 21st. So if you like Elder Scrolls Online, you can jump into that. That is very cool. We also got news that QuakeCon is going to be digital again.
Yeah. Which is silly because I'm going to PAX this weekend. Next weekend. I'm going to PAX in person. And like, the events are ready to go back to in person. I know that there's still concerns, and if you're concerned, then don't go.
Can I rant just for a little bit?
Yeah, please rant.
we down here in the South, we've been open for forever. You know, going to football games, doing everything in the world. Of course, that's in Dallas. So, open it up. Come on. You know, I know they're in Maryland and all scared of everything, but come on, open it up. Anyway.
It's about time.
Yeah, they're going digital again, which also brought up to my mind, of course, that E3 is canceled altogether. But they did say that they are revamping E3 for next year, and they are determined to have a physical E3 next year. And they're going to make it what E3 should be. So I'm really excited to see what they think E3 should be. Yeah, I really am.
I try so hard to be optimistic, but I can't with this one. Jeff Keighley, and you talked about this. I was in the chat. I remember bringing some of this stuff up. But Jeff Keighley, when he had that sly tweet, he just kind of did like the winking emoji or like the emoji kind of thing. As soon as the news, or right before, or just as soon as the news that E3 was canceled came out, and everyone was like, "Oh, dude, you're celebrating that a show's canceled. What's wrong with you? That's kind of a dick move." He came on and he did a 1-hour live stream where he was explaining how, and I have to take his word for it because I think a lot of what he said makes sense. He's explaining that a physical conference, the way that E3 exists, cannot happen anymore. Because these studios do save the money doing it digital. Because these studios do have the luxury where one of the things that stuck with me the most is that they don't have to share a stage floor. right now at E3, they cram it into 3 days, which is great for us fans.
Yeah.
But Microsoft comes onto the stage and they say, all right, well, there's also PlayStation going. I know this isn't going to be 100% accurate. Like, I know Nintendo has their own show and stuff like that, but just for hypothetically, all right, we have Xbox going today. Microsoft is hyped to showcase Starfield, but right after us, we have PlayStation. Right before us, we had Nintendo. After that, we have Activision, right? So they have all of these other things on the same day versus what Jeff Keighley wants to do. And Jeff Keighley, previous Summer Games Fest was 3 months long or whatever it was. It was ridiculous. He's condensing it now to a month. And now every studio, it's still in a shorter time frame. I think he wants to kind of shrink that even more next year. But it's still a month long, and every studio can have their own day when they want to do it.
So his idea of revamping is making it smaller. Basically.
making it smaller. Well, making it smaller and making it more about having the studios themselves have agency over how they handle their conferences.
Yeah.
So if they have more freedom, then they'll get more participation. And the pessimist in me, to tie it back to E3, is I don't know if E3 can come back in its current state, the way that we as gamers love it. Like those 3 days, exciting news, going to the physical events. They might not even do physical anymore. It might just be digital. They might have a physical aspect to it. Jeff Keighley wants a physical aspect, but will it be in the same capacity?
I tell you, there is nothing like, I got to go one time, and there was nothing like going to E3, the physical E3. So if that goes away, we are really, really losing something in gaming, really.
Yeah.
And I know I know things change, but boy, I would hate to see that go away. Jeremy says, just remember Atari game Joust, and you'll never forget that word again. Believe it or not, yes, I remember Atari Joust. I've played it. I remember when it came out. That shows my age, though, so that's terrible. Jonas says, I hope E3 2023 works out well, because if they can bring the crowds in and get all the studios back in, I think them not doing it this year is just giving it all to Summer Game Fest. Yeah, and I was going to mention that Summer Game Fest is in June, and I wanted to mention to you, I keep hearing rumors that we may get a Starfield reveal in May, because if you look, there's going to be a lot of game reveals, even starting in April, and I didn't write them all down, but there's a lot of showcases that are actually starting in April. So we're going to, over the next couple of months, we're going to start getting E3 basically, and it's going to be spread out all the way until June, and then
isn't that cool?
And then of course Summer Game Fest is there in June. But
is that exciting?
No, that it's exciting that we're going to get it a little early, I guess.
We're getting to the point, I guess. Like we're getting there. Yeah.
I would rather it all be together, but but that begs the question, when do you think we're going to get a Bethesda showcase? Is it all going to be together? Well, those are two questions. But when do you think we're going to get Starfield? And then is Bethesda showcase going to be all together?
I suspect that we're going to have Starfield teases in May. It might be like a in-game trailer, something like that, something small that says watch the full reveal in May, the full reveal itself in June. That's my personal guess. And I do think that Bethesda will get its own thing, because exclusively, I don't think next year will be the same. This year, we've heard Phil Spencer talk about Starfield. And you've probably seen some of those tweets where they're talking about how they want Starfield to be one of the major focuses. And I keep trying to point out, like, no, I don't think it will be one of the major focus. It is the focus. Like, what else does Microsoft have coming?
And I hate to stop you, and this goes back to one of your videos about overhype and managing expectations.
Yeah.
But Phil Spencer says he wants this to be the most played Bethesda game ever.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's a major expectation. Todd Howard says this is the most epic sci-fi game ever. I mean, they are putting very lofty expectations on this game. So, I don't think they're holding back at all. I think they're putting all their eggs in this basket, pretty much.
Yeah, it's going to be the year Microsoft's conference, if they do it together, which listen, anything's possible, right? They could do it together. I don't think it'll matter if they do a separate Bethesda one and a Microsoft one, or if they do Microsoft and Bethesda all their stuff together. Because at the end of the day, what's going to happen is Starfield's going to be the thing.
Yeah.
Starfield will be the thing. Period. End of story. No questions asked.
Well, and honestly, that's what shocked me even more about QuakeCon, because we had physical QuakeCon. The last physical QuakeCon was when Doom Eternal came out, and it was DoomCon instead of QuakeCon. If you remember, they had it all centered around Doom. Everything was around Doom. And before that, it was centered around basically Fallout 76 because Fallout was coming out. So what a perfect time this year to have Bethesda's own E3 right there in Dallas around Starfield. Man, it would have been perfect. I can't.
It would have been.
Yeah. Jeremy says, isn't Avowed coming out this year? And my lupus I have it in my head. I believe it is, isn't it?
I thought it was a 2022 release date. I don't think it was
Look it up real
anything
quick.
more specific than, yeah, it's late 2022.
Yeah, so they could stretch it to the spring, but yes, they've got it down for 2022 right now. Absolutely.
I wouldn't be surprised. This is the kind of game that is waiting to get a delay.
Yeah.
And it says
absolutely.
right here. Yeah. Late 2022 or early 2023. Starfield's coming out late 2022. It's going to be a 2023 game. That's my guess.
Yeah, I honestly can't see them putting out Avowed with Starfield to compete with Starfield. I really can't.
And on top of that, you think of the spacing too, because what's coming after Starfield is Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah.
And so now Elder Scrolls 6 we know is going to be about 3 years. So Microsoft has 2 fantasy RPG series between Avowed and Elder Scrolls. Give players that Elder Scrolls after they've already have the Bethesda game. They turn around and they say, "Oh, we have Starfield 2022, mid 2023. Here's Avowed, or late 2023, and then in a couple of years you get the next fantasy game, Bethesda fantasy game, Elder Scrolls." I think it's a perfect roadmap.
I think
makes sense to me.
I think Timmer heard of a leak that I didn't hear about this time. He said GeForce leak. I actually haven't heard about a GeForce leak. I've been a little busier this week, but tell us about it, Timmer, if you can.
Here you go. The leak states that Avowed will be released December 7th, 2022.
Okay. That's a month.
Fable on October 12th, 2023, and Elder Scrolls 6 on January 2nd, 2024.
Oh, yeah. I like that. Do you really think only 2 years to Elder Scrolls 6? See, I can see that. I really can see that. I believe they're already working hard on Elder Scrolls. I truly believe that.
I'd buy 2 years for Elder Scrolls. Listen, they have, especially if you can imagine, maybe, do we know Bethesda Austin, but the Fallout 76 main team, are they working on something entirely new, a new IP, or are they just working on something?
We know they're working on something new.
Something new.
Something different. Now, it is rumored to be a new IP, but we know it's something different.
I was going to say, what if they're passing off Fallout 76 to this new outsourced team that you talked about previously?
Yeah, 011.
Yes, and Bethesda, the Fallout 76 team, is now laying the groundwork for Elder Scrolls 6, and then the Maryland team takes it over to add in some of the other stuff.
Interesting.
Fine-tuning the world. But if it's supposed to be a brand new game, then, or a brand new IP or something brand new, it wouldn't be Elder Scrolls.
Right. Yeah. And I think it's a new game. I actually do. Timmer says, do you think we'll see a new Quake game? Absolutely, 100%. I also believe they are working on a new Quake game. At QuakeCon this year, though, that might be a little premature, but yes, I believe that is in the cards. It's been rumored for a while, so it is coming 100%. Hey, Mayhem, Cube Gaming, what's going on? It's insane to me to hear a supposed release date of the Elder Scrolls 6. I'm sure he's talking about. Let's get into Starfield since we're kind of talking about Starfield, and we started it anyway. I want to start with something that came out and that I haven't really talked about. Me and Joe touched on it just briefly in the last video that I put out, but There's an actor that made a Starfield tweet. Stephen Ford is his name, and you can look him up on the internet if you want to. He's been in Teen Wolf, he's been in movies and TV, and he's done some adaptation of video games to movies and TV shows. But he made a Starfield tweet, and it was the Starfield picture. And by the way, the poster of Starfield has a guy that almost looks just like him in it, which made people kind of go crazy. It's got a bearded guy and everything. But he said, like this so that I can follow you back. And he said, I can't tell you why.
He never
yet.
followed me back.
Yeah, I know. But,
he's a damn liar. I'm going to kill him when I get Starfield. I'm going to find him in the game.
And he also has Starfield in his bio as well on his Twitter page, or he did anyway. I don't know if he still does. I haven't checked it since then. But, so people have kind of been going, okay, does this mean he's going to be a voice protagonist? Does this mean he's going to be a guy in a live-action trailer? Does this mean he's going to be a guy in a Starfield movie or TV show? What does it mean? And I'm going to throw it over to you. What does it mean? Is Stephen Ford just blowing hot air? Or is he doing something based on Starfield, which I believe he is, but what is it?
You don't get someone like Stephen Ford. Now, I don't watch any of the things he's in, but obviously he's in some credible works. He has a credible filmography, discography, whichever it is.
Long list. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at it right now. Long list of TV and movies.
I don't think that obviously, self-explanatory. He's involved with Starfield in some way. I think he's going to be a character in the game. The way that Sean Bean was in the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, I think he will be in Starfield. I think he will be the Martin Septim of Starfield. Not a live... I saw people saying that maybe it'll be a live-action trailer. You don't have him just to do a single live-action trailer. Like, what would you do for just a live-action trailer? You can get a generic person and do voiceover. You don't need to hire an actor like him. That's what they did for the Skyrim one.
Right.
They just had the one guy who just walked around, and then they
and nobody knew who he was. Yeah.
He's. I don't want to say he's a nobody. That's a bit rude, but like, he was for the sake of the trailer.
He's the Skyrim guy now. But he will always be the Skyrim guy now.
But you don't do that for just a trailer. TV show. They're doing Fallout.
See, it would not shock me if they announced that, hey, coming out this fall, as soon as the game comes out, there's a TV show or there's a movie. It wouldn't shock me if they've been doing it secretly.
Do you think that Todd Howard can balance between doing the Indiana Jones game, doing Starfield, doing the Fallout TV show, which we know he's a big part of, and doing a Starfield TV show?
I do, because I think Todd... Yeah? I really do. I think Todd has moved into just pure management. He's not into the day-to-day getting his hands dirty in the games. I mean, I think he is in pure managing now. That's just my thoughts.
That's a lot of projects. That is
a lot.
Big projects to manage.
And I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm just saying it would not shock me if it is. But what you said, I think that would be the best. I don't want a voice protagonist. This is just me. I do not. I hope it's not. I'm not going to whine and cry if there is. But I think Bethesda games are so much better. I think RPGs are so much better without a voice protagonist.
It probably surprised you. It's always 50-50. Like, you see polls or like people talking about it on Reddit, it's almost always like around 50-50 who wants a voice protagonist, who doesn't. Because there's this whole, I think Skyrim brought in and Fallout 4 brought in this whole other audience to Bethesda games, and they're used to playing something like The Witcher or like Mass Effect, and they want a voice protagonist. Like, we are old school Bethesda fans. Not everybody is. Yep.
Yeah, the more mainstream people do want the voice protagonist, but I don't, because I can't be me. And that's, one reason I've played The Witcher, but I don't ever get done with any of the Witcher games. I played Witcher 2 and Witcher 3, but I never got done with them. because I can't get immersed into them, and I believe that's one of the reasons why I can't get immersed into them, because it's not me. It's not role playing anymore. It's, you're playing that. You're just playing that guy. That's all you're doing.
And also, how many playthroughs of Fallout 76 could you roleplay?
Oh man,
Exactly.
Yeah, goodness.
And why is that?
Endless.
Silent protagonist.
Endless. David, yes, Bethesda announced it's going to be on the 11th, 11/11. And by the way, speaking of Todd Howard, Timmer says that he doesn't age, and I agree. It makes me angry looking at my silver beard and my no hair and all this and seeing Todd Howard. And me and Todd,
looked like he was.
We're about the same age, and it's kind of, it hurts my heart. But anyway,
he looked like he was losing his hairline a bit in that last video. He looked like he had to work a bit of a comb over.
Is it getting thin? Is it getting thin?
Yeah, take a look at the most recent Into the Starfield video. It looks like it's starting to set in.
Okay, I want y'all to look at something. I believe 100% the guy sitting in the cockpit in the trailer of the Starfield trailer is Todd Howard. It's his voice on the radio in the trailer. Everybody knows that by now, time for lunch and all that stuff. I believe that character, you don't get to hardly see him at all, but all you get to kind of see is his eyes and the side of his face there sitting in the cockpit. I believe that character is Todd Howard.
Why?
You can take Todd Howard's face. By the way, the little character's got a little mole right here on the side of his face. Todd's got a little mole right here on the side of his face. It looks like Todd Howard. It's Todd Howard, y'all. It is. They made Todd Howard in the game. And I believe we're going to see him more in the game. I mean, you until he takes off the spacesuit and he's got the leather jacket on, you won't know.
What color is it? What color is Todd's eyes? We got to get into this now. What color are Todd's eyes?
I think they're brown or hazel, aren't they?
Nah, this guy has bright, steely blue, baby blue, sweet.
Well, now I don't know. I've met Todd, but I didn't stare deeply into his eyes, so I don't know what color his eyes are.
But if you had the opportunity, would you?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Have a staring contest with Todd Howard?
Absolutely. Okay. You had a good video, and by the way, I'm going to plug your video, and I'm also going to put your link down again and tell everybody to go subscribe to DeMarco Dude. There's his link. Y'all go subscribe.
Yeah, we're raking our way to 1,000.
By the way, y'all do go check out that and tell me if y'all think that is Todd Howard sitting there in the cockpit. I really think it is. Y'all take the side view of Todd's face and him, and I really think it is. Anyway, you talked about the 3 alternate starts and had a really, really interesting ideas about that. That it could mean it's not necessarily 3 alternate different places that you start the game, and I'm not going to set all this up. I'm going to let you explain it because this was your video. Mm-hmm. Can you kind of boil down what you were talking about?
Yeah, so basically a lot of people, and this was actually, it's interesting because this was something that was pointed out by...
David says found a picture online and Todd has steely blue eyes. Thank you, David.
It's steely. Wow. Oh, I thought they were like brownish too.
I did too. I did too. See, it's him. It's him, y'all. I promise, it's him.
I got.
Breaking news! It's Todd Howard in the Starfield trailer.
How would you describe Todd's nose shape and his eyebrow? What's Todd's eyebrow thickness? Does he have what's the length of his eyelashes? We need to pull this apart. How long are Todd's eyelashes?
What did y'all talk about on the KingCast today? Well, we talked about Todd's eyes and Todd's nose and Todd's eyelashes. Okay, go ahead.
Starfield. I'm thinking about Todd's eyes. So basically, one thing that I think is a pretty big misconception, and this was actually pointed out to in my comment section. Like I was on the other side of the spectrum until Jonas and some others had pointed out in my comments actually. But in the Into the Starfield video, there's Todd Howard's talking about backgrounds and going back, like doing the things that Bethesda did, and he mentioned specifically backgrounds, traits, yada yada yada. Long gap in between. They talk about some other stuff. Then you have the lead Will Shen talking about factions, and he mentions it's one of my favorite starts. Pause to the factions, to any of the factions in the game. And you hear, like, people thought that this meant, oh, they're talking about how you can start the game in all these different, like, it's alternate starts. Alternate starts officially done by Bethesda. And, like, what kind of fed into it, if you really want to read between the lines, you have Emil who kind of, like, starts jumping in there, like, maybe he's trying to cover something up. Emil's jumping in and offering his insights.
Because they talk about 3 different starts.
Yeah, they talked about 3 different factions and different starts to those factions. I don't think that's the case. I think that's a misconception. I think that's people taking it the wrong way. I think it's a case of people trying to read between the lines when the curtain is just blue, right? You can.
James says, "King,
yeah, I was reading that.
Do you stare at Todd Howard pictures and study his features? You can tell us. This is a safe space." I'm not going to answer that, James. Go ahead. That's hilarious.
So I think that it's going to be one start and that they're just developing, because the thing is, my personal preference too is that you get one solid start. I think this is your first impression towards Starfield, and that they need to set up this entire universe. And not that this was my strongest argument that I made in the video, but I mentioned how always Bethesda tries to set up this one epic open you up to the world moment. Can they do that as effectively with this brand new IP that means the world to Todd Howard, it means the world to Bethesda, by having these diluted, let's say, 3 different starts? Yes, they can. It's possible, but I don't know if it'll have the same effect if Bethesda crafts, and their beginnings are always super linear, intentionally so. Why? It teaches you the mechanics of the game. It gives you a feel for the world. And on top of that, it gives you opportunities to try out your character. Again, all things that they could do, no matter where you start, but people don't generally spend... Jonas, people generally don't spend time admiring Todd's features.
Of course we do. Yeah.
Why do we think we talk about how he doesn't age?
That's right.
But I think it'll be one start to the game. I think that makes the most sense to introduce players to the world, to give us a feel, to allow us to get into how Starfield works, especially with, if they're going for these more hardcore mechanics where you got to manage oxygen and gravity and you know, your fuel, how much fuel you have, right? All these different things. It just makes the most sense to have a single opening to the game, and I think it'll lead for a stronger experience. That being said, one thing I would look forward to, and then you could say, Pete, this is the last thing, I think it would be amazing, the best possible thing I think Bethesda could do, free update several months, maybe a year after Starfield's been out, that introduces official alternate starts, similar to what mods have done in the past. Then every time you hop in, you go for a new playthrough, you have officially released alternate starts, and they could be as simple as begin as a member of this faction, begin on this planet, begin with this ship, like, or this starting gear. But if it's a free update, makes Bethesda look good, makes fans happy, provides additional content for us, and free is always a nice word to hear.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We like free.
I thought you made a good point that it and tell me if I'm right in assuming this, that you thought it was more like a Mass Effect using the starts, and you understand how I'm using that term.
Yeah.
Than Cyberpunk. In other words, the background is important. It is important what background you pick, but it doesn't change the linear start. If that makes sense.
So
yeah.
You have 3 ends of the spectrum, right? And this I mentioned in the video, where you have something like Outer Worlds, where you pick a background, it changes your stats. That's not going to happen. Why do we know that's not going to happen? I thought it was worth mentioning to bring up to see all the different varieties that it's been done. It's not going to happen because Todd Howard has talked about how he said in the past, I don't know where, he said in the past it has an effect. It influences the game. Mass Effect doesn't change the beginning. You still play as Commander Shepard. You still have the same introduction. The narration is a little bit... Free is never good. Nukem, free is good if you're getting downloadable content. Like when Bethesda came out with hardcore mode for Fallout 4. That was free. There was nothing wrong with that. It's good stuff. So free is sometimes good. But, yeah, Mass Effect, you get additional quests. Like, I start as the first time I played Mass Effect, I did the Earth Earthborn, which is one of the backgrounds you get, and somebody in a street gang that I used to run with came up to Shepard and was like, "Hey, you gotta like help out with their gang thing because you used to be a part of us. You can't just throw us away, like throw us in the trash." That was awesome. I know nobody else who picked Earthborn has that beginning, right? And I think that will be more along the lines of what you experience.
Right. Jay's talking about the step out moments, and I think you mentioned it as well. Todd said there are 2 step out moments coming in Starfield, which again is another point that it has to be, the start has to be linear. In other words, you have to have the same start, probably, to have 2 step out moments. I am interested to see what those step out moments are. One of them has to be space, probably, and then the other one maybe a space station, and then planet, space. Who knows? But again, so excited. Will you pre-order Starfield? Yes, I will pre-order Starfield. I know there's a big talk about pre-ordering games, this, that, and the other. But if it's a game I know that I want, I know I'm going to play, yes. And even if it's a game that I know I'm going to want the DLC, I will go ahead and pre-order. I'm not one of these anti-pre-order kind of people. You can answer that question before we move on. Are you going to pre-order the game?
I'll pre-order like the day before I get the bonuses. Whatever pre-order bonuses you get, but I'm not a pre-order person.
I'm not either.
I don't believe in it.
Yeah.
But it's a game that I want to play day one. Like I pre-ordered Lego Star Wars. I still pre-order games. I pre-ordered Ghostwire Tokyo like the day before it released.
Yeah.
So maybe it doesn't matter like whether you do it a month before or the day before. Probably doesn't make a difference. But
I ordered Game Pass or whatever they called it for Fallout 4, where you're supposed to get everything. And that really kind of turned out into a mess. They revamped it and did all kinds of mess to it. But I knew I was going to want everything. I knew I was going to want everything that they put out for the game, so I thought that would be best and save me some money, so that's why I did it. Now, again, I don't do that with games in general, but if it's going to be a Bethesda Game Studio game that I'm obviously going to play, and especially for my channel, then yes, I will do it.
Yeah. I do understand the sentiment though, right? Like, why am I gonna pay for a game? And South Park did it just brilliantly. Like, there was a South Park where they were making fun of it. And Cartman runs up to a character. He's like, "You're paying for." There's more swear words, but you're paying for a game by some guys in California that they haven't even finished yet. Like, they don't even know what it's gonna be yet. Why are you gonna do? Like, I understand the sentiment, and I do agree with it.
Yes,
but I still. Depends on the game. It depends on the game.
Absolutely. Okay, let's get into the marketing of this game, because we are about to see the marketing really ratchet up for this game, obviously. Hopefully we're about to see that, because as we said, it is going to release in November, and people are nervous about this thing getting delayed. I'm not nervous at all. I don't believe it's going to be delayed one bit. And by the way, speaking of pre-ordering, I'm not going to get the watch. If that's and I think me and you've talked about this before, if that's the only big pre-order thing, I'm not going to get the watch.
Well, that's going to be the special edition, the $180 or whatever, version of the game.
Yeah.
Not for a watch.
Now,
honestly, I didn't think it was that nice of a watch.
Now, if my subscribers want to get it for me, or Bethesda wants to get it for me, that's fine, but I'm not going to get it. And even if there's like a space helmet, I don't think I want a space helmet either.
No, they don't.
There would have to be something really nice for me to get the special edition. I do want the Steelbook, but you can pick up Steelbook later on for pretty cheap on the game.
Like, I have the Commander Shepard helmet from the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, but that's like an iconic helmet. Like, that thing is, you see that and you know instantly what it's from. The equipment that you have in Starfield, like even looking at supposedly Todd Howard in the trailer, which I still have up on my screen, it's a space helmet. Do I need a space helmet?
Of course you do. Of course you do.
I'm not going to space anytime soon, so I don't know if I need that.
Thank you, Timmer. Thank you so much. $2 euros. Love your show. Hit that like button. You are so good to support the show. You're always here. You're always commenting, and you always give. I appreciate it. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. As y'all know, I'll give y'all my spiel real quick, but as y'all know, I've not been able to do near as much YouTube as I want with taking care of my mom and all that stuff. So every donation helps wonderfully. So thank you, Timmer. You're a rock star. I appreciate you so much, and you do so much work in the gaming business. By the way, if y'all are not following Timmer, I try to say it every KingCast. Please go follow him on Twitter because he puts out great info on a daily basis, gaming info that you won't get anywhere else. So you follow him, please. What is your? Can you put your Twitter link, Timmer, down? Okay.
Well, I wanted to ask, what do you think those we talked about that. What do you think those step out moments are going to be? You said maybe like space, but like, I've thought about this quite a bit.
Well, honestly, it's according how it starts. It's according where it starts.
Mm-hmm.
I've thought maybe one step out moment would be like in a space station. You know, you step out into the space station, and then the next step out moment is stepping out in the planet on a planet or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not that, could the step out moment be actually space itself? You know, when you leave the space station and you're in the ship and you see, you know, I don't know how much work they're going to do. I saw you on your video talking about, you know, managing expectations and if we're going to be able to pilot a ship and all this. You know, how much work are they really going to do? And I'm talking about graphics work on space. Is there going to be nebulas and stuff like that we're going to get to see? I mean, is that, you know, going to be something that is really going to catch our eye, or is it just going to be black with dots? You know what I mean with space? I think it's going to be more than that. But
it's. Have you played Mass Effect Andromeda? Well, you got a thing you might want to check out and try. You got a little something.
Psycho, bless your heart. Thank you so much, Psycho. I appreciate that so much. Y'all are awesome. You're also another wonderful supporter. I appreciate that so much. Jonas says, I think Starfield's release date is set with confidence. They've been developing this thing for a very long time. Yes, since 2013, I would say yes. And they sound like the game is in the polishing stage already, and it has been for a long time. David with the $5. Y'all are so awesome.
You're going to be able to get that watch.
I'm going to cry. No, I'm going to be able to pay a bill. That's what I'm going to cry here.
That too.
David says, no times are tough. Really hope this helps. Thank y'all so much. YouTube has not been paying the bills. It's when y'all give super chats and Patreon. That's how I maintain. So thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much. But I would say probably a space station and then a planet, or space station and then space itself. What do you think would be the step out moment?
Well, speaking of just nebulas, just to get that, have you played Mass Effect Andromeda at all?
I have not. It's
Okay.
it's on my list to play though.
So they do a really cool thing where, like, Mass Effect, the original trilogy, you fly around and then you look outside the ship and you basically just have generic space. Mass Effect Andromeda did something really, really cool where any planet that you go to, you look outside your ship and you see that planet. Like, no matter where on the map you are, if you go they have the traditional galaxy map, you leave the galaxy map and you'll see what would be outside your ship. And I think that would be incredible for Starfield. Go check your chat again.
Oh, go ahead. I'll get James. James can wait. No, James is awesome.
I think the two. So I would love to see that. I'm still iffy on the pilotable shit. I think Bethesda would try it. I don't see Bethesda not trying it. I feel like people think that some people probably think that I'm just completely against it, that Bethesda would never do it. I think it's just as likely as them not doing it or them doing it. It's 50-50 to me. I think the two step out moments, beginning of the game, Bethesda likes when you start off as a nobody, right? How do you do that? You're part of Constellation. You begin your expedition, intro cinematic, you begin your expedition, you get launched to where, what was it, 200 light years away, or whatever the math was. Crash land your ship. Boom. Stuck on planet. Tutorial planet.
I think it's only 50 light years away, isn't it?
50 light years?
Yeah.
Okay, 50 light years. Whatever the distance was. So, boom, crash landed ship, or your ship lands on a planet, needs to refuel, whatever it is. You're stuck on a planet. Tutorial planet. First step out moment, you get out of the ship, you see the world.
The planet.
Second step out moment, you're able to get off that planet, fly up, you're in space. Second step out moment, you see space.
Space, yeah. See, I thought it's going to be space and a planet or space station, and yeah, I agree 100%. All right, James, let's see. I've got Psycho, David, and now James. Thank you so much. James is an almighty rock star. He is a super supporter of the channel. James, you are wonderful. He says, for the Starfield fun. Thank you so much. I cannot thank you enough. You do magnificent. You go above and beyond, and I appreciate it more than you know. Thank you. Psycho says, what watch are you looking at, King? It is the Starfield watch. I have actually put it on my Twitter page before. It's the one that is in the trailer. You actually see it in the trailer, but it appears it's going to be the watch. It comes in a little box, like about this big. It's going to be the special edition instead of the helmet that we got for Fallout 76 or the Pip-Boy that we got for Fallout 4. It's going to be this watch. And the watch is going to act like the Pip-Boy in the game. You're going to wear it in the game. It's going to show how much oxygen you have. And so it's going to be a very special part of the game. But anyway, so that's what it is. Mark says, you'd think moving from system to system would resemble fast travel. You'd also think that you can do some custom things to your ship. See, I think there's going to be two ships. I think you're going to have a big ship and a little ship. If you've seen and again, this is thinking, okay? We've not been told this, and the Marco dude made a very good point. You need to listen to what Bethesda says, because everybody else is a talking head. They're thinking. But I'm basing this on concept art, and you see the big ships. Many of them have a little ship sitting on top of the big ship. So my thought is then that the big ship would be for long distance travel, which is what we would call fast travel. And then the little ship would be the actual flying that you would get to do. And that would be basically going from space down to land. You know.
So what, would the big part of the ship just like float in space?
Yeah. You would,
and then you leave it there, and then you come back and dock into it, and then you could travel across the galaxy? Yeah,
and the big part is what you're going to be able to continue to customize and all that. But think about it, you don't ever, and now they are in the new movies, which is stupid. But anyway, you didn't ever land the Enterprise. The Enterprise stayed up there. You took the shuttles down. Well, that's going to be the same basic principle. The big ship stays up there, and you take the little ship down. And I do think we're going to have some little quests where we get to fly the smaller ship, and we probably will have, as far as like just freely being able to fly wherever we want to fly. I don't know how much of that there's going to be, but I do believe there's going to be some actual quests where we get to fly places. See, if they do it that way, then they get to do it in a linear fashion, so they have more control over it, and we'll get to fight other ships and that kind of stuff. So I do think there will be some flying ships. Justin says, I think a step out moment is the first planet you land on, and the ramp opens up and you walk out. Absolutely, it has to be. That has to be one of them. Mark says, if Starfield draws anything from, say, Space Quest, this might turn out good. Ian, bless your heart, 44.99 euros. Here you go, King. You deserve it, man. You are amazing. And then Jonas with 55. I don't know what NOK is.
Kroner.
What is NOK?
Norwegian kroner.
Oh, cool. And it says, for the pre-order. Hey, bless your heart. I said if one of y'all wanted to get it for me. There you go. You are awesome. Man. I'm going to cry for a minute. Go ahead and talk. DeMarco, y'all are amazing.
I mean, if you're throwing around money like,
Well,
no, dude, I know. I feel like we say that in all seriousness. I feel like we say this every single time, but you genuinely have one of like the greatest audiences.
I
Like, I
do.
think that,
I
yeah, I
do.
think that other channels, when you look at what kind of a community you want to build, like it's this one. You want to have this type of community. Like every single KingsCast, you got people who are stopping by who love to just hear what you have to say about things. Every single time you have something going on, whether it's lupus or family or like tornadoes going through your backyard, like you have you have
Which I have a lot.
yeah, you know what's I was thinking about too, because you like one of the last times we talked, we were talking about how, oh, I'm looking for houses, I'm in the housing market, and you're like, oh, we got properties right over here, and then a week later there's tornadoes going through. So
Hey,
but
Arkansas is a great place to live.
until your house gets
I was
pulled
about to
out
say
of the
one of the bad things is the storms. Let's see. Atomi, is that how you pronounce that? Please, I hope I'm not mispronouncing.
Tommy,
Atomi. Okay. Hey, friends.
Tranquil.
Love you both and the podcast. Excited for Starfield and can't wait. Thank you so much. By the way, there is a link to DeMarco Dude again. Y'all please go subscribe to him if you have not. Just discovered this podcast. What a great show. Thank you. Thank you. I hope you'll be back. We do it every Saturday at 4:30. Every Saturday live podcast.
You.
Yes, I do it. I
You.
do it. But now,
I'm a guest.
hopefully, DeMarco Dude will be back a lot because I love having him on the show. So, let's see. I was going to say so. Back to marketing. Thank y'all so much. By the way, thank y'all very much. And it may have been you I was arguing with, but I've been telling everybody that a live action trailer is coming. And I promise y'all that a live action trailer is coming. And I know there's some people out there, and you may be one of them, that say, why would they do that? We've already had a little bit of gameplay. Why would they do that? That is a mainstream type ploy, a mainstream marketing ploy.
Yeah.
We got a Fallout 76 live action trailer way after the game was even released. So it's just something that they do. But I think that's coming really soon. They'll probably do that before we get the gameplay reveal or right around the same time. And I love them, by the way. I love the live action ones. They're really good for nothing. You don't learn that much other than maybe a little bit about the story, a little bit about the environment, a little bit about the tone. But
what is the tone
what is
of
the
Starfield?
what is the
What is the
tone?
tone?
Speaking of Dom. But I can see that coming very, very soon. And like you said, I do believe there'll be at least some gameplay teased during the month of May, and then they may do the full on. Do you think they're going to wait, and do you think they're going to have a deal at the Summer Games Fest thing, or do you think they're going to do their own thing?
No, well, so that's the thing about Summer Games Fest, though, isn't it? It's kind of just a calendar.
Yeah, it really is.
Like Summer Games Fest is basically just a calendar of events, and then you have Jeff Keighley who's saying, "Hey, can you please happen to do it during this time frame?" Like, you have people who not going to dwell on this too long, but you have people who are like, "Oh, good, E3 was dying anyway," but and like Summer Games Fest is so much better. But what is Summer Game? Like, nobody really knows what Summer Games Fest is.
There's nothing to it.
Yeah, Jeff. I know Jeff is trying to fix that, right? I know that he's working towards it, and he answered a lot of concerns during that 1 hour stream he did after the announcement. But I think that that being said, that is basically a calendar. Microsoft is doing whatever Microsoft is going to do, and the live action trailer falls perfectly into getting something during May, full thing during June. Whether it's a live action trailer, an in-engine trailer, a gameplay trailer, the tease. Because it's a popular thing, and I hate it, but it's a thing, and I still get hyped by it anyway, so there you go. But here's the trailer! Check out the full trailer coming next month! And you're like,
Yeah,
oh my
the
God,
tease trailer, yeah.
But I'm excited, god damn it!
Do it now!
Oh, you have it, it's done! I know, it probably isn't done, but, so yeah, but something in May teasing the full reveal, like tune in. It might be a live action again to capture that mainstream audience. I think that's perfectly acceptable. Probably both. I would hope for both live action for TV, real trailer for the the fans,
Well,
you and I.
and don't you think we'll get both, especially after they do the game reveal? Then I think they will do another trailer after that, which will be a more of a gameplay trailer after.
Well, after the game reveal, it's anybody's. Then
Yeah.
then they're going full. Then it's full blast
turn it
leading
loose,
up.
that's
Yeah,
right.
it's till November. They're just gonna be hounding you with it. Microsoft is. We've said before, pulling all the stops. They're letting off the brakes for this one.
I hope so. I really
Yeah.
want to see a huge marketing campaign for this one. I really do.
I always find it funny that you still have people who are like, "Oh, this game's gonna suck." Like Bethesda's not talking about it. They clearly have no confidence in. No, you don't understand their marketing strategy. Like it's having studied marketing, that's what I studied at college. It's in your basic marketing introduction textbook. Like I'm not saying anything that's rocket science here. That it's just as effective to do a strong push as it is to do something over a long period of time.
Yeah.
They're both valid strategies. They both have the same amount of efficacy depending on your product. There's nothing wrong with it. And
Yeah.
Bethesda's works.
I
nails
would
it.
much rather it be this way than the way they did
Exactly.
Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk was way too long. Way too long. Ian says, I just want aliens as big as super mutant behemoths. I think we're going to have some wicked aliens. The one that is a cross. This sounds so strange. A cross between a wolf and a velociraptor. Now, I think that is one that we actually have a picture of, and it's huge if it's the one we have a concept art picture of. It's the one where there's like 3 of them, and they're kind of in a desert-looking terrain.
Yeah.
But yeah, a cross between a wolf and a velociraptor. So that's... I don't know how they came up with that, but yeah. James
Fun
says
people.
King is a good man, makes great content. We're lucky to have him. Thanks, James. No, I'm lucky to have y'all, and that's what DeMarco Dude was saying. I have the best subscribers anywhere. I've said that from the beginning. Y'all are. Tommy says it sucks having a different name on YouTube than my usual username. Yes, it does. It for people like me that have a bad memory, it is tough. Because some of y'all have like 3 different names. You have a Twitter name, a YouTube name, and then a game name. And I'm having to try to learn all these and keep
Just
up with
to
y'all.
annoy you.
Yeah. Psycho says they need to give you a join button. I've thought about doing that. There's several of y'all that have told me to go ahead and do that. If that's something that y'all would like, I never want to push stuff down y'all's throat. But if it's something that y'all would be interested in me doing, then I will do that. And you're not the first one to ask me to do that, so I may do that. Let's see. Yeah, the Raptor Wolves. There, Jeremy talked about it. Jonas says, I got to be honest, I love E3 and its history, but it's never been something I could attend myself. Taking the streamed events and giving studios more time control is generally for the better. And then Psycho says, for the VGAs aren't doing so hot, maybe... what's his name ought to worry about that.
Jeff. I mean, Game Awards had viewership of 85 million in 2021. That sounds like it's doing okay to me. I know. I if you're talking about public reception and how public people like us feel about it, I know that last year was just an advertisement hell. Like I complained about that. So, but in terms of like its actual viewership, it was fine. Jonas, I'm curious though, really quick. I'm curious though, in person, you say digital is better. I agree that letting the studios do things the time they want is good, but I'm just curious because if people see it live, if people have the opportunity, like you can't see it live, and that's unfortunate. Like I understand why, but if King or I could go see it live, and it still isn't like the live stream part of it isn't neglected, is that like really so bad that people can have that in-person experience? I don't know if it's generally for the better to take away a physical element to it, but that's just me.
And personally, even when I can't go see it live, I love watching some of the in-person events. That's just me.
Yeah, you can still watch that stuff too.
We are getting close to the end, so we are down to where you can ask anything. There are a couple of things I need to mention before we get out of here, a couple of news things. Number 1, in Fallout 76, again, remember it's double score weekend, so y'all do not forget that. That goes through the 18th, I think through noon on the 18th. Also, April the 26th starts Meat Week. There's going to be 2 weeks full of Meat Week. If y'all want to know what the new rewards are. The list of rewards are on my Twitter page. You can find them there. If you don't follow me on Twitter, by the way, do that. I put out a lot of news on Twitter. Also, they finally fixed the nuke launch disconnects on Fallout 76. So if you want to launch a nuke, you won't get disconnected anymore. And then also learned this week, this is really cool, Deathloop, and by the way, I love Deathloop. Very good game. The exclusive part ends on September the 14th. It's right now, of course, an exclusive to Sony. That ends on September the 14th, so it will be coming to Xbox Game Pass probably that day or shortly thereafter, and they are planning a big DLC to bring it to Xbox Game Pass. So I would look for a giant DLC. I knew they were going to do something special when they brought it to Xbox. So if you haven't played Deathloop, that might be the time to do it when it comes over.
It is a phenomenal Game Pass. That is a primo Game Pass game.
Yeah, awesome game. It is definitely worth the try. So again, that exclusive ends on September the 14th. So y'all be looking this early fall for that to come with a brand new DLC with it. There you go. Do you have anything else you want to cover, DeMarco Dude, before we get out of here? And by the way, just a few minutes left in the podcast, so if y'all have any questions or comments for me or DeMarco Dude, please be sure and put them down right now because it's almost over. I don't know if you watched the video that I did on, me and Joey Caps did a video on Vasco, the companion. And I believe just from some of the hints that they gave that he is going to be fully customizable, almost like we got in the Automatron DLC from Fallout 4. And that excites me that you're going to be able to... and of course, we were able to do that with Codsworth, weren't we? After we got that DLC, we actually were able to customize Codsworth. But you know, they talked about how in depth that they want the companions to be, and I posed that I think Vasco is going to be a very specialized companion, and I want to get your opinion on it before we quit. I think he's going to be a very necessary companion for two things. Number one, to help you run the ship, kind of like, as I said in the video, kind of like R2-D2 helps Luke Skywalker, you know, he sits behind him and he does all that stuff. But I also think, because they talk about in the video that he is built for, and I'm going to mess up the wording, like long distance exploration or something like that. I think he's going to be maybe not necessary, maybe that's not, but it would be advantageous to take him if you're going to go on exploring some of these planets that have harsh environments, because, and I think that's what some of the cable systems and some of that is that are found on him. But what do you think about that? If you watch my video, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But Bethesda understands the issue. I think one of the big things is Bethesda understands the issues with their companions, and they know how important they are. They see Bethesda's not stupid. They see something like, and I know not everybody likes this mod, but I have to go to Inigo. Not everybody loves Inigo, but Inigo is just he's really, and that was done by one person.
Very popular.
So if you could have, and why? Because he's customizable, he's malleable, he fills whatever role you want him to. So when it comes to Vasco, yeah, I don't think that they would have shown him off if they didn't want it to be. It's the dog meat. It's the dog meat of Starfield.
It is.
With a little bit more personality, because it's not just a dog. Not that dogs don't have personalities, but you know.
Okay. Yes.
yeah. So I would like to see in that regard. I think it would be really cool if Vasco just kind of served as, like, I don't want the one thing I will say is if all that is true, like he's the necessary companion, I don't want an experience in which I feel punished for not bringing Vasco, and I don't think that will be the case. I don't see that ever being the thing. But it's in a similar vein to if you've ever played a game and it's sort of like Divinity Original Sin 2 does this greatly, where you could play as the Magisters, which are basically like the most evil, horrible people in the world. You could play with the seemingly good guys. There's a lot of gray area in between in Divinity, but the game never punishes you for what you want to play as.
Right.
And that's with whatever choices you make in the game. And companions can be looked at in a similar light. I don't want to be punished because I'm not taking Vasco, because Bethesda really, like, if I'm running a D&D campaign, I have an NPC that I really like. The players want to kill that. And I've spent so much time making him try to have a unique personality, something that's fun. The players go up and they want to kill him right away. I can't turn around and be like, nope, he's suddenly a level 13 character and he beats the crap out of all of you because I don't want him to die. Like, that's not how you do it.
Yeah.
He's mine. I mean, so I don't want Bethesda to turn around and be like, we made Vasco. We think he's great. We love Vasco. You have to love Vasco too. Oh, you're not playing with them? Well, screw you, dude.
Yeah.
Like, play with Vasco. I don't want to play with Vasco. Vasco can stay on the ship. I
gotcha.
But
yeah.
I love Vasco. From what I've seen, I love him. I'm not saying that I don't like him by any means, but
yeah, I'm anxious to see if it changes. If there is a possibility that we can take 2 companions at times, that would be really neat to see. You know.
They had that in Fallout 4.
Mm-hmm.
It was a cut feature. It was a cut feature for Fallout 4.
Yep.
So, hopefully, with the technology, I think it's a technology barrier. I would assume it's a technology barrier.
I'm sure it is. Well, DeMarco, dude, this has been wonderful. I want to have you back. You do a wonderful job on here. You make my life a lot easier when I'm by myself. It's tough sitting here talking to the camera by yourself. So I appreciate you being here. Thank you, everybody else, for being here. Y'all, please, one more time, I'm going to put his link down. It's also down in the description below. If for some reason y'all have not subscribed to DeMarco, dude, please go do it right now. He would appreciate it, and I would appreciate it as well. You have a wonderful channel, and I want it to thrive, not just survive. You both are amazing. Keep fighting the good fight. Great episode this weekend. Looking forward to more from you both as we tick down to Starfield Countdown. Absolutely. That is awesome. Also, want to wish everybody a happy Easter. If y'all celebrate Easter especially, that this is Easter weekend, so happy Easter to all of y'all. Do you have any plans tomorrow, DeMarco, dude?
Seeing plenty of family.
Tons
of family time.
Well, good deal. Well, I hope you have a wonderful time tomorrow.
You too.
With your family. Thank you so much.
You too, King.
Y'all have a great rest of today, and if God gives you tomorrow, have a great day tomorrow. Bye, everybody.